Welcome back everyone to another video, World of Warship Legends, and today we're taking a look at the Z-35. I went out, spent some of my hard-earned doubloons. I love some German destroyers, and this one is no exception. In the background here, we have a game of Capture the Base on Brothers. This is going to be a Tier 5, Tier 6 match. Now let's take a look at this ship. It's kind of unique, but has some standard German properties. First off on my build for the modifications, I went with Aiming System Mod 1, Prop Mod 2, and then Concealment Mod 1. I want to get that detection down pretty low, and you can see here in this game it's at 5.2. After this game I went and invested some promotion orders in my commander, and I got that brought down to about 4.9 now. It does have 5 single gun turrets, 128 millimeters. It has 2 torpedo launchers. Each launcher has 4 torpedoes. And for the consumables, we have our standard damage con. We have a smoke screen, get 2 of those, and then we get 2 sonar charges. And the sonar is pretty incredible. It has 5-kilometer detection of ships. So extremely powerful sonar. Now when I brought this ship out for the first time, I went with my standard German destroyer build. I got Eric Bey, I had Swirsky as one of the inspirations, and I had I think Sims was my second to get the health up a little higher, because this one does have an incredibly high amount of health for a tier 6 destroyer. And I played that a couple games, it was fun, and then I kind of got to looking at my commanders a little bit, and I decided I wanted to change it up. You know, this is 100% a gunboat. That's what it's good at. You know, the guns are fairly solid. They got really quick reload time. The torpedoes are okay. And I kind of wanted to take a look at the 2 different commander builds and see what the advantages and disadvantages are of each. So first off, you know, Eric Bey, we're looking at the detectability. He has 4.9, which is also what I have on the blue Furiora also now. Max speed 36.5 knots, rudder shift of 4.8 seconds. The main battery has a reload of 3.5 with a range on the main battery of 10.5 kilometers. And here's where the real differences start. The torp reload with Bey is 90 seconds. He has a max torpedo damage of 13,700. The visibility on his torpedoes, so that's when the enemy will see it, is 1.3 kilometers. Speed of 65 knots in the water, range of 9 kilometers. Now if I switch it over to blue, you're going to see a lot of differences. You know, same detectability, 4.9 kilometers, but right here is the first. We get a higher max speed, which is key because you don't get an engine boost with this ship. But the max speed with blue is 39.4 knots. Rudder shift is a little bit better as well, 4.4 seconds. Main battery reload, you get bumped up a little bit here, which isn't too extreme in my opinion. 3.8 seconds versus 3.5 on Bey. Same range of 10.5. And here's the other big change. Torpedo reload, 57.6 seconds with my current setup on blue. I think you can even get that a little bit lower. Torp damage though is another thing that takes a hit, 8220. The visibility on your torpedoes is 1.1 kilometers and the same speed and range of 65 knots and 9 kilometers. Now, I want to break this down a little bit more to what it actually means. So if you look at the damage per minute with the torpedoes, with blue setup, even with the reduced amount of damage you're going to do per torpedo, you're going to have a higher damage per minute. You're going to come out with 68,390 potential damage per minute with blue, where Bey comes out to 65,760. So they're close, but not, you know, just a little bit of advantage. And honestly, it is so much fun having 8 torpedoes to shoot every minute. So looking at the game here, you saw we snuck up on this Queen Elizabeth here, launched both sets of torpedoes. First one landed all 4, second one all we needed was 1, finished them off. And now we get to use this ship as it's intended to be used, a gunboat. Shooting at the Akatsuki, go ahead, try to get them whittled down. And honestly, this ship is so much fun. It's a gunboat with sonar. So you can see here, I'm trying to kite away. I do have that Colorado back there. I need to make sure I'm not going to take any big hits here. Unfortunately, the sonar isn't quite ready. I used it earlier on in the match when that DeGrasse was pushing in. If I did have it, it would have been absolutely perfect for this scenario. If the Akatsuki is just sitting there in his smoke, I could just roll right up, spot them with the sonar, and gun them down without them ever really seeing me. But we're going to go ahead, fire some blind fire torps into there. Again, my reload's 57 seconds, so it's not that big of a commitment. I'm not going to have to wait too long to get another set up and running. You did see that we already have 6 torpedo hits. Most of those have come against that Queen Elizabeth. And, not a high damage. I'm very Venom-ish in the amount of damage you're doing with these, but the guns are actually much more potent on the Z-35 than the Venom. And of course, you do have the sonar as well. One quick note, this does have, with both builds, with Bey and Blue, you have a 6% fire chance on the main battery, which is about standard. I haven't looked at any of the, what I call general commanders to see if you can get a higher fire chance, but that might be something I look at in the future. One of the major other downsides of Blue is that you do lose twist and track. Twist and track is a relatively fun feature to have, and certainly helps you, but I have my detectability so low on this build now, I don't think it's necessary to have. I'll have 0.2 difference between me and the Japanese destroyers at this point. So the chances are, if we are going to spot them, unless I'm chasing them across the map, we're going to spot each other. So that's not a huge concern. And again, thanks to the sonar, if I do get spotted, I can always just pop sonar and I will automatically see whoever's ever spotting me as long as I haven't fired my guns. So here, once again, we're going to go ahead, just let the guns do their work. Pop the smoke screen and unload on the battleships. We did get the torpedo there on the Colorado and the kill. And again, more torpedoes ready to go. So as soon as those other ones pretty much hit the end of their range, I have another set ready to go. It's such a great opportunity. Even if I don't get the maximum damage, what I'm doing is I'm also increasing the odds of a flood being started on these ships. Floods are going to be great for either forcing the enemy ships to use their damage con, or just sitting there and soaking up the damage as they get stuck with the flood. If you put that in combination with what the guns bring in the fires, you can just make it utterly unbearable for battleships. They're either going to have to damage con flood, or they're going to have to damage con fires. Either way, they're going to be taking a bunch of damage from this ship most of the time. And it's really, really fun to play. Feels very much like an American battleship, maybe similar to a Kid, except with much quicker reload on the torpedoes, of course. At this point, you can see our team has done a great job. They have gone and pushed up, and we have the 2 remaining ships completely surrounded. I was talking about my inspirations earlier. With Blue, I am using Bey as my first inspiration just to get that detectability down. And then for my second inspiration, I'm using Sims to get some added health into the ship. In the future, I might switch that to either Turwit to get the torpedo reload down even further, or maybe VN to get the incoming dispersion a little higher, make it harder to shoot this ship, especially since I do see this ship doing a lot of kiting and firing of the guns just to either distract enemy ships from my friendly battleships, or just as a way to farm some damage. As you can see here, we're finishing off the Akatsuki and getting the win. Not a great game, not a bad game. Overall, we're going to finish on top of the leaderboard, and this ship is a whole lot of fun to play. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.